Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining me for a presentation about returning to school, returning to Richmond. What I'm going to do is that there are still quite a few more people trying to join the session. So I'm going to just give it another couple more minutes and let people join. So I'm just going to put it back on the placeholder for another couple of minutes while people join the session, okay? So I wanted to give people another couple of minutes to try and join. My name is Mr. Christopher Regan. I'm the school principal at Richmond, and thank you for joining me in this session today. If I pause while I'm presenting, it's probably to admit people because people are still trying to join into the session. So if I pause, it's most likely to admit them to the session. But thank you for choosing us as your choice of school. At Richmond, we really believe that everybody's part of our family, staff, students, parents, and we see everybody as part of our family. And so I'm really happy that, that I'm welcoming quite a few new people to the family this year. So let me just resume the PowerPoint so that you can see what we're going to do today. So the itinerary for today is that first thing, I'll give you a bit of a welcome to the school, talk about a few people. Then I'm going to explain our school starting plan for blended learning, our COVID policies. I'm going to explain a little bit about the school handbook. I'm going to discuss communication, and then I'll discuss textbooks and uniform. This session, it is being recorded, so if you miss any part of this session, it will be uploaded onto YouTube or another platform quite shortly after the session, okay? Sorry, I'm just admitting another person. So for a couple of people, 3-4 people that's just joined, this is the itinerary. You haven't missed anything yet. I will just go through what's happening in the session and everything else moving forward. So who are we as Richmond International School? Richmond International School, we opened here on the 1st of October 2019. So we are actually quite a young school. But we started KG to year 6 with 1 class in each year group. As I speak now, we've got 14 classes and well above 200 students for the school. I may add more classes based on demand, because we have had a lot of new students who are joining us, and so I am adding more classes as we go. Okay. Last year we were very, very proud to have been accredited by Pearson, and we are allowed to not only deliver Pearson's iPrimary curriculum, which is our choice of curriculum, we are also allowed to administer Pearson exams in the school. What does that mean? At the end of last year, our year 6 students, 6 of them opted to take iPrimary exams. And for those students, half of them obtained the top grades that were available. And there are a few students who I am actually going to request remarking, because I think they deserved higher grades, and they missed out on the top grades by a couple of marks. But also, in addition to Pearson accreditation, it means that all of last year's staff had 16 hours of training direct from Pearson themselves, and the new staff are being trained by myself, and we will have additional Pearson training sessions throughout this year. If you visited the school site recently, you'll have noticed that there are 6 new classrooms that's been built. They are just towards the entrance. They will be ready for use at the start of next week. I think currently they're just fixing just double checking the AC system, but they are being built and they should be in use next week, which is really nice for us. They are purpose built as classrooms, and in addition to that, the entire school has been repainted throughout the year. At the start of this year, it's been completely repainted, which means that the school is extremely clean at the minute. It will have another clean over the weekend, and then there'll be one final clean on Monday before students return. So the school is being cleaned as we go along. Our vision is quite simple. It's educating students for success in a changing world, and it's something that I've discussed a lot with the staff over the last week, is that we're really in a changing world at the minute. Things change fast in this modern world, and we're not just trying to educate students for the now, we're trying to educate them for the future, because we don't necessarily know what the future might hold. But what we're trying to teach our students are, resilience, adaptability, the ability to really move forward if there's any kind of problems that happen. And so, as for anything that comes up, that's what we're trying to do for them. And with the iPrimary curriculum from Pearson, we really believe that will happen. So I know that all of you will have already seen my picture, but I'm Mr. Christopher Ragg. I am the principal. I am UK trained, UK qualified. My first degree was in history, so I trained modern historian, but my teaching qualification I got from Edge Hill. I got that above 10 years ago now, quite some time ago. I also hold a Masters in Law from the University of Sheffield and an LLM in International Legal Practice from the University of Law in the UK. Assisting me as the Deputy Principal is Miss Julie, and she's very experienced in KG management and the EYFS. So she has her international diploma in pre and primary training, her advanced qualification in pre and primary training. She's trained in early years, EYFS for early years, and she's got her KG management diploma as well. Most of the new parents will have either met Miss Julie or myself, because Miss Julie, she is in charge of the EYFS, the KG classes. And so virtually every UKG student will have met Miss Julie already. And if she wasn't available, then they would have met me. Okay. Now, this information is in the handbook. I just want to give it to you again. The school's official opening hours, the hours when the office is open, is 6:45 to 3:45 p.m. Sunday to Thursday, and on Saturday 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's when the school is open. You are welcome to obviously connect with the office during those hours. The primary phone number for the school is displayed there, 4017-1991. Calls outside of that, outside of office hours, most likely they wouldn't go through. If it is urgent, there are other ways of contacting us. Now, I just want to talk about school reopening. I'm sure that you've seen in the press that the ministry have announced information about reopening. I received information from the ministry about reopening on Tuesday. And so I'm sharing with you the current information that I have. As always, this is subject to change, but we will follow every single directive that we are given by the ministry. Now, on Tuesday, the 24th of August, we are going to welcome new students into the school, just new students. We want to allow our new students to visit the school without a lot of pressure. And so they'd be able to meet all our teachers, meet our admin staff, meet our support staff on that day. Then, because the schools are going to be restricted to 50% of their capacity, on Wednesday, the 25th of August, Group A will be in the school, and Thursday, the 26th of August, it will be Group B. We are working on the class lists so that we can give you which group your child will be in. Obviously, it's not a case of just cut the class down the middle, because we are aware of a lot of siblings and people that car share, and also a lot of other things. In that sense, we are working on that to try and accommodate as many people as possible. Whilst I say we're trying to accommodate people, I cannot guarantee that that groups will match. At all times, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to maximize the number of students that are able to come into the school while maintaining safety. Because safety is the #1 priority for us. Last year, our COVID protocol has worked for the school, which I'll discuss a little bit later, and we must carry these on to ensure safety. I'm aiming that by Sunday morning, that at the absolute latest, the class lists will be sent out. It will be by email, text message, or Class Dojo. Don't worry if you're new to the school about Class Dojo at the minute. We will be connecting people up to Class Dojo shortly and helping people to connect on Class Dojo. Now, week 2 onwards, so this is the week starting from the 29th of August. It currently says that there will be a Group A and a Group B. So for the first week, on the 29th of August, Group A would be in the school and Group B would be working online. For the next week, which will be the week starting the 5th of September, Group A would be working online and Group B will be in school. This will be confirmed early next week on the groups. Teaching will be provided through MS Teams because it gives us much better tools to use, much better flexibility than Zoom does. For Teams, don't worry, there is no need to download any additional software. If you're using a computer, it opens up just by following the link. We will be giving some sessions to parents and students about MS Teams. That will be next week, once we've just finalised a few things on the schedule. Now, I'm going to very briefly talk about our COVID protocols and our COVID policies, because I don't want to go into massive amounts of detail. Needless to say, we've got very, very robust policies that are written for COVID, and the major points which I just want to point out are that ETARAS and temperature, that's going to be checked at the gate. Okay, we do need to check these. Anybody whose body temperature registers above 27.9, above 37.9, then they would not be allowed access to the school. And you either need to go and cool down or go get checked. This applies to children and parents equally. In terms of that, all the staff are checked on the way into school every morning. Their ETARASs are checked on the way into school every morning, and every member of the school staff has been double vaccinated and has cleared 14 days since their vaccine. I just want to highlight this point that children are only permitted if the parent ETARAS is green. We don't have any children that are above 12, so it goes on the parent's ETARAS. If an adult is meant to be in quarantine, then by default the child is in quarantine as well. As per last year, years 1 to 6, the parents need to drop their children off at the school gate and the waiting area, and then they will be students will be picked up from the gate in the waiting area. Last year we did have this that worked very, very well, because we were able to have people check in which parents were arriving, and they were able to pick them up quite quickly. The KG parents, you are allowed to drop your children at the building door, but pickup will be from the gate. This follows the same policy that we were given last year by the ministries about parents and accessing the site. If this changes, I will change it. I will change the policy, but this is the policy that we're going to follow next week. The recent ministry circular that I have mandates that masks are worn in students from year 1 upwards. KG masks are encouraged, but not mandatory, but from year 1 upwards, it is mandatory. Please make sure that you send your children to school with 2 masks, essentially, 1 mask and a spare, just in case. We do have masks in the school, should that be required. And anybody accessing the site who is year 1 upwards is required to have a mask. If you are suspected or a close contact is suspected of having COVID, please stay off until you get a negative result. Please, we want to be safe. If a close contact, I said please stay off until there's a negative result. If positive, please comply with the quarantine requirements. I've been sent the quarantine requirements for the teachers should there be contact, and I know that there are quarantine requirements from the Ministry of Public Health. Just depends on the situation and the positive result. Okay, but please comply with the quarantine requirements. But if there is any doubt as to whether they could be COVID suspected, please arrange a test. I know that something like 3% of tests are coming back positive. So just please be safe. I know it might be a case of inconvenience for a day waiting for the results, but it is much better to take that one day than to have COVID spread. Luckily, when we have had COVID cases in the past, they haven't been very severe amongst the staff, but we had a couple of staff who did test positive last year, and there were no subsequent infections with the children because of the policies that we'd followed, but at the same time, we have to be very safe. Now, the student handbook, this is going to be sent out today, and I just want to highlight some of the most important points from our student handbook. Okay, in our student handbook, it has got our full school calendar, which I've tried to colour code to make it as simple as possible. And so just point out that school for us officially starts on the 24th of August and officially ends on the 23rd of June. There are some training days for staff inside this calendar when there would be no students in school. The exams I've highlighted on here, so you've got plenty of notice on when these will happen. As always, Eid is flexible, and Ramadan is flexible depending on the sightings of the moon. So when Ramadan begins, we will obviously inform you of our working hours, the student hours, and we will follow the ministry's directives on when there is Eid. But the key dates I just want to point out are that there are holidays between the 22nd and the 30th of October, on the 17th December to the 1st of January, the 4th of February to the 12th of February, the 11th of March, the 19th of March, the 29th of April to the 7th of March, which is to be confirmed, which is Eid. I really ask parents on drop off and pick up. I haven't put this on this slide explicitly, but I please ask parents to be very considerate when they are doing dropping off their children and picking them up, and not blocking the road on Makia Street. We have had a few instances where Makia Street has been blocked because of parents not parking in a parking zone. Please park inside the parking zones. Please do not block the bus route. Please do not block the bus stop, and have courtesy to other people, because it does cause severe problems. At the start of the day, school starts for the students at 7 a.m. That is for kindergarten and the primary. Please drop off your children at 6:45 a.m. at the earliest time. That is when the teaching staff begin. That's when the office staff begin. Okay, there will be nobody really to supervise from earlier than this time. Pickup is at 12 p.m. for the KG classes and 1:30 p.m. for the primary classes. Please be prompt in picking up your children. As I've already said a few times, we're still in a COVID environment, and I don't want basically students to mix and spread with others, because if they're mixing with others, then there's a potential for COVID to spread to more than just one class, and we're trying to form the bubbles around the classes. So please be prompt in picking up your children. Now, attendance in the register. Okay. Attendance for students is taken at 7 a.m. and in the afternoon. I am required to report attendance daily to the Ministry of Education. And if attendance drops below 90%, that's in online or in person, a student is at risk of failing the academic year. Okay, if a student arrives after 7:15 a.m., they are considered late and it's logged. If students are arriving late, not only does it impinge on their education, but it disturbs the others in school with them arriving. So please, please try to make sure your children are on time. I know myself that you can get caught in traffic in Qatar. I know it happens, but please be considerate in that sense, okay? If a child is absent, please contact the school office on the main number, 40171991. And also, if you can be courteous, drop the teacher a message as well through Class Dojo. It helps the teacher, but please contact the office so then I can make sure that it's logged. I will be asking the office staff to contact parents if a child is absent, so that we know what's going on. If you need support in any way regarding your children, just let us know. Okay. We've got a very, very experienced set of office staff, very, very experienced staff. So if you need support, just let us know. I just want to put, this is covered in a lot more detail in the parent-student handbook, but I just want to go over the role of the nurse and the health form. The nurse, she is very, very experienced. She was a staff nurse as well, so she was a senior nurse before she's come over into schools and joined us. She will be in school from 6:45 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. daily. She'll treat minor injuries and ailments. If it's just a minor thing, she'll treat them. If it's more serious, she will contact you by phone. Medicine, we did have a few cases this last year. If a child needs medicine, we will only do this with written approval from yourselves and a prescription from the doctor, okay? Otherwise, we cannot administer it. Health forms, they are at the back of the parent-student handbook, and you would have been asked to complete them on registration. This is in addition to providing a copy of the vaccine book. They must be completed before the start of the academic year. If a child has got a medical condition, please share it with us because it helps us to understand your child's needs. If you want to do this in confidence and speak to the nurse in confidence, she's always available to do that, provided there's not somebody who she needs to attend to, but the nurse would always be available to speak in confidence, whether it's over the phone or in person. Okay, but please share any medical conditions with us. Okay, what the list of things on there is not on the health form. It is not an exhaustive list. Okay, but we really need to know things. The more we understand your child's needs, the better we can help them. Then the better they'll perform academically at the end of the day. Now, in terms of communication, if it's regarding something that's academic, please contact the class teachers in the first instance. Use Class Dojo, and they'll be able to reply back on Class Dojo. I have instructed them that they do it within 24 hours. So if you message staff, they might be teaching or in meetings, so they wouldn't be able to reply instantly, but they will reply within 24 hours. If it's an administrative matter, please send an email or call the school office, again on the main number. So if it's to do with admin issues, the admin team's always available. So if it's to do with admissions issues, I apologise. If it's admissions issues, just please drop us an email to admissions@richmonddoha.com, and then they'll be able to get back to you, or like I said, send a phone call. If a meeting's required or requested, please do it through the school office so that we can keep a track of things. Because we do have obviously a meeting schedule. We've got a schedule for meetings, etc. And sometimes we might not be available immediately, and it will help us to plan things by just doing it through the school office. Okay. Last couple of items I want to talk about is that the textbooks, they're already in the school. They are available for purchase, and I know a lot of parents have already done it because I see them walking across the school with the blue bags. The books that we've got this year are quite similar to last year, but I have changed the science book. As I've said, we are a Pearson Centre, we are an iPrimary school, and so I bought Pearson's iPrimary science books. These have cost a little bit more than the old OUP books, but the Pearson ones are of much better quality, and the curriculum links in with the iPrimary. And I said, as we're doing exams for iPrimary, we're offering iPrimary exams for students. It just makes sense to use the Pearson books. And so I said they're available for purchase. I do not have the Ministry of Education supplied books yet. I am waiting for the ministry to make those available for us. When they are available, I will make them available for purchase. I do not know the price of the Ministry of Education books yet. When they make them available, then the office would be able to share the prices of the books. In terms of the school uniform, the samples are in school, and we have got quite a large amount of uniform already. So if when you come and your children check their uniform size for fitting, and we have the items available, then yes, we might be able to give it straight away. I am expecting it to be deliverable from next week, from the start of next week. The school fees, the last payment dates, or the school fees need to be paid before the 24th of August for term 1. For term 2, the 1st of January, and for term 3, the 19th of March. Invoices have already been sent out for term 1, and the payments are, like I said, they are due basically before each term starts. To make things simpler for you, if you wish to pay online through online banking, pay online through online banking. But then please send an email to the school with a screenshot of that so that we can identify the payments if there's any kind of issues on that matter. Okay. If you need help in terms of information regarding fees and anything else accounting wise, please call us. Any kind of issues like that, please have a dialogue with us, and then we can understand what's going on and your personal situation. And that comes to the end of my presentation about the start of this academic year. Like I said, it's not the way in which I want to start the year, having blended learning, but I understand the needs right now. And the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Public Health, and all the other local authorities are basically concerned for child safety, and we follow what they say to us to the letter. We follow them very, very stringently, and if they make changes to the policies, we will be in contact. I do appreciate that you might feel that things take a little bit of time to be replied to be announced by the school for changes. It's just that I as a principal and we as a school, we wait until we have the official communication from the ministry with the full details. When we have that, then we are obviously in contact with you as soon as we can be. Because sometimes we need to double check things and make sure that we're getting things right before we tell you. But like I said, safety is the #1 priority. If you have any questions that haven't been answered, please email the admissions team, admissions@richmonddoha.com, and then they'll be able to answer them for you. These, like I said, the student handbook that will be sent out today to the email addresses that we've been supplied with, and so it should answer a lot of questions that you might have. But I'd like to thank everybody for participating and for joining me for this session, and I hope to see everybody in person soon. So have a nice day, everybody.